For most of human history, monsters lived at the edge of our maps. They were in the deep forests, the uncharted oceans, the places we just couldn't reach. They existed where our knowledge failed, and our imagination filled in the gaps. Dragons marked unknown lands. Sea serpents haunted unexplored waters. The world was vast, and fear lived there comfortably. But today, there are no blank spaces left on the map. Satellites scan every inch of the planet. Drones patrol the skies. Cameras line our streets, our forests, even our oceans. We live in the most observed era in human history. And yet, the sightings continue. Reports of cryptids, unknown creatures, and unexplained entities haven't disappeared. In some places, they've even increased. So in an age where nothing can hide, why haven't cryptids vanished? Early cryptid encounters followed familiar patterns. They happened in remote wilderness. Sightings were long, giving people a good look. The physical descriptions were shaped by folklore and fear. Creatures were large, loud, aggressive, almost theatrical in how they appeared. But modern reports tell a very different story. Today, encounters are brief, often silent. Any evidence, like photos or videos, mysteriously disappears or the equipment malfunctions. Witnesses describe a sense of being watched rather than attacked. The creatures retreat instead of pursuing. And almost never, despite billions of cameras, are they captured clearly. This isn't random, this is adaptive behavior. In biology, when a species is under threat, it faces two outcomes: extinction or evolution. Survival favors those who can avoid being detected, not those who dominate territory. If cryptids exist, they face extinction-level pressure from humanity's constant surveillance. To survive, they would have to change. They'd learn to avoid light, become highly sensitive to sound, and develop a keen awareness of human activity. They might even learn to manipulate their terrain. These aren't supernatural traits, they're well-documented survival strategies found in animals we already know. Applied to cryptids, this could explain decades of inconclusive evidence and all those consistent near misses. It's not because we're failing to catch them. It's because they're succeeding at avoiding us. Consider the Smurl Haunting. It's often framed as a demonic infestation. The case involves strange noises, physical sensations, a sense of oppression, and environmental changes inside a single home. But when you look at it through a scientific lens, many of the reported effects line up with prolonged exposure to low-frequency sound, electromagnetic interference, or environmental stressors. These are all things known to cause fear, hallucinations, and physical discomfort. What if the cause wasn't supernatural? What if it was biological? An unknown organism doesn't need to physically appear to influence humans. Just by manipulating its environment, it could create terror and confusion without ever being seen. The Stanley Hotel presents a similar pattern. Decades of reports, all in consistent locations, with repeated emotional influence on guests. Apparitions that seem to observe but rarely interact. If cryptids are interacting with humans, maybe they don't hunt us. Maybe they just affect us. Indirectly, subtly, safely. Then there's the Coyame Incident. This event stands apart, not because of what was seen, but because of what happened next. A rapid military response. Conflicting explanations from officials, sealed records. Witness testimonies that were altered or dismissed entirely. Officially, it was labeled a meteor crash, yet it was treated with the urgency usually reserved for a biological or technological threat. Governments rarely hide folklore, but they aggressively conceal unknown organisms, recovered materials, and anything that could cause widespread panic or challenge our understanding of reality. If a non-human organism was recovered, especially one that could survive in Earth's environment, secrecy would be inevitable. Not to protect the public, but to control the narrative. Folklore freezes creatures in time, but evolution does not. A modern cryptid wouldn't roar from mountaintops or chase prey across open ground. It wouldn't leave bodies, bones, or nests for us to study. It wouldn't seek dominance. It would observe. It would withdraw. It would adapt. Researchers have proposed that cryptids may occupy ecological niches we don't even monitor, like vast underground cave systems, extreme deep-sea environments, or the dense transition zones between wilderness and our ever-expanding cities. These areas aren't shrinking, they're growing. As humans push outward, new margins are formed, and margins are where evolution thrives. The most unsettling idea isn't that cryptids exist. It's that they've learned how to avoid us. That every blurry photo isn't a failure, it's a success. That every corrupted file, every dead battery, every missing moment of footage is not a coincidence, it's an adaptation. That all these unanswered mysteries may be evidence of intelligence, not absence. We assume we're dominant because we observe. But observation doesn't equal control. We like to believe we've conquered the unknown, but evolution doesn't need our permission. And some mysteries don't want to be solved. This is Unbreakable Voices, where the unexplained refuses to stay buried. Subscribe and decide for yourself what's watching from the dark.